Sarah worked as a waitress in a small old restaurant on the edge of town. The restaurant was not fancy, and Sarah earned very little money every day. She lived in a small rented room nearby. Even though her life was hard, Sarah always had a kind heart. She smiled at customers and helped everyone who needed her. One evening, the sky was dark and heavy rain was falling. Sarah was finishing her work when she looked outside the window. She saw a little boy standing near the door of the restaurant. The boy looked very thin and dirty. His clothes were wet from the rain, and he was shivering. He looked hungry and tired. Sarah's heart hurt when she saw him. The boy was a beggar. He didn't have a home or family to care for him. He stood quietly, hoping someone would give him some food. But most people just passed by without noticing him. Some even laughed or ignored him. Sarah felt very sad. She wanted to help him, but she was worried. The restaurant manager did not like when workers helped people outside the rules. Sarah thought for a moment. She wanted to do something kind for the boy. She took some money she had saved secretly and bought a small meal from the kitchen. She wrapped it carefully and went outside. The boy looked surprised when Sarah gave him the food. His eyes filled with tears. He thanked her quietly and began to eat. Sarah smiled and told him to stay safe from the rain. She felt warm inside. Even though she had little, she was happy to help. But some customers saw Sarah giving food to the boy. They did not like it. One of them called the manager and complained. The manager was angry. He came quickly to Sarah. "Why are you wasting company? Money?" he asked. "You are not here to feed beggars. You must stop this now or face the consequences." Sarah felt scared. She did not want to lose her job, but she also did not want to stop helping the boy. The manager's words were hard to hear, but her heart told her to be kind. That night, Sarah lay in bed and thought about the boy. She wondered what would happen next. Would she still see him tomorrow? Would the manager punish her? Sarah knew she was taking a risk, but she believed helping. Someone in need was more important than anything else. She closed her eyes and hoped for a better day. Hook. Will Sarah keep helping the boy despite the manager's warning? What will happen to her job? And how will the little boy's story change their lives forever? The next morning, Sarah woke up early. The rain had stopped, but the sky was still gray. Her heart was heavy. She did not know if the manager would keep his promise or fire her. But she could not stop thinking about the hungry boy. Sarah dressed quickly and went to work. The restaurant was quiet and few customers were there. She kept looking outside the window, hoping to see the boy again. Hours passed and no sign of him. Just when Sarah was about to lose hope, she saw a small shadow near the back door. It was the boy. He looked even thinner than yesterday. His clothes were dirty, and he held a small paper bag close to his chest. Sarah's heart jumped with happiness. She took a deep breath and went outside carefully. The boy saw her and smiled shyly. "Are you hungry?" Sarah asked softly. The boy nodded. He said nothing, but his eyes told a story of loneliness and pain. Sarah gave him some food she had saved from the kitchen. The boy ate slowly, looking around nervously. Sarah felt sad for him. She wanted to know more about his life, but she did not want to scare him. Suddenly, Sarah heard footsteps. The restaurant manager appeared, his face full of anger. "What are you doing here?" he shouted. Sarah felt a cold shiver. She did not want trouble, but she stood tall. "I am just helping a hungry child," she said quietly. The manager's eyes narrowed. "You broke the rules. You will pay for this." Sarah looked at the boy. He was scared. She knew she had to protect him. "Please don't be angry. He has no one," she begged. The manager hesitated. For a moment his face softened, but then he turned away. "Go back inside. We will talk later." Sarah helped the boy hide behind a tree and went inside. Her heart beat fast. She knew this was only the beginning. That night, Sarah could not sleep. She thought about the boy and the manager's warning. She wondered if she was brave enough to keep helping him. But she also felt hope. Maybe, just maybe, things would change. Hook. Will Sarah's kindness bring trouble or hope? What will the manager do next? And what secrets does the boy hide behind his quiet eyes? The next day, Sarah arrived at work feeling nervous but determined. She had made up her mind to help the boy no matter what. But deep down she worried about the manager's anger. As Sarah was cleaning tables, she noticed a tall man enter the restaurant. He wore a dark coat and a hat pulled low over his eyes. He looked around carefully, then sat near the window, watching the street outside. Sarah felt curious but kept working. Suddenly, the boy appeared outside, peeking through the glass door. The man saw him too and stood up quickly. Sarah's heart raced. The boy hesitated, then slowly walked toward the restaurant. The man opened the door and spoke softly to the boy. Sarah could not hear what they said, but the boy nodded and stepped inside. The man smiled gently at Sarah. "You have a kind heart," he said quietly. "Helping those in need is rare." Sarah was surprised but nodded. "I just want to do what is right." The man's eyes softened. "I'm not here to cause trouble. I want to help you, and him." Sarah looked at the boy who was now sitting quietly in a corner, holding the paper bag. She felt hope stir inside her. The man introduced himself as Mr. Collins, a businessman who cared about people like the boy. "Sometimes people need a little help to change their lives," Mr. Collins said. "I want to offer you a chance." Sarah listened carefully as Mr. Collins explained he had ways to support the boy's future. But it would not be easy. They would face many challenges. The manager watched from a distance, his face unreadable. Sarah felt a mix of fear and hope. This stranger might be the answer she prayed for, or a new problem waiting to happen. That evening, Sarah left work with a heavy but hopeful heart. She knew the journey was just beginning and the secrets around the boy were deeper than she thought. Hook. Who is this mysterious man? Can he really help the boy? What dangers lie ahead for Sarah and the boy? The next morning, Sarah woke up early, her mind full of questions. Who was Mr. Collins and why did he want to help the boy? She felt both curious and worried. Could she trust him? At the restaurant, Sarah watched the boy closely. He seemed quieter than before, but there was a strange sadness in his eyes. She wanted to know more about him, but he still kept to himself. Later, that day, Mr. Collins invited Sarah to meet him at a small cafe nearby. She hesitated but knew she had to learn the truth. When she arrived, Mr. Collins greeted her warmly. "I want to tell you about the boy," he said quietly. "His name is Liam. He's been through much more than you realize." Sarah listened carefully as Mr. Collins explained that Liam's family had faced great trouble. His mother was not just poor, she was hiding from people who wanted to hurt them. That's why they lived in fear, always moving from place to place. "When I found Liam and his sisters," Mr. Collins said, "they were lost and scared. Their mother tried to protect them, but something terrible happened." Sarah's heart ached. She realized Liam's silence was not just fear, but pain from his past. Mr. Collins looked at her seriously. "I want to help Liam have a safe home, a chance to be a child again, but it will take courage from all of us." Just then, the manager appeared outside the cafe watching them. Sarah felt a chill. The manager had always been strict, but now his eyes held something darker. "We must be careful," Mr. Collins warned. "Not everyone wants Liam to be safe. Some secrets are dangerous." Sarah nodded, feeling the weight of the situation. She knew the road ahead would not be easy, but she was ready to fight for Liam and the hope he deserved. That evening, Sarah returned to the restaurant with new strength. She looked at Liam, who gave her a small, trusting smile. For the first time, she felt that maybe, just maybe, things could change. Hook. What secrets does Liam's past hold? Who wants to stop him from finding safety? And how far will Sarah go to protect him? Days passed, but tension grew heavier around the small restaurant. Sarah noticed strange looks from some customers, whispers that stopped when she walked by. The manager's warnings turned colder, more threatening. He seemed determined to stop her from helping Liam. One afternoon, while Sarah was cleaning the windows, she saw a group of men in dark coats standing near the restaurant. Their faces were hard to see, but their eyes were sharp and watchful. Sarah's heart raced. Could they be connected to Liam's past? Sarah wanted to protect Liam, but she felt small and powerless. She didn't know whom to trust anymore. Mr. Collins visited her again and said, "You are brave, Sarah, but danger is close. You must be careful. These people will not stop until they get what they want." Sarah nodded, determined to keep Liam safe no matter what. That evening, a fierce storm hit the town. Thunder roared and rain fell like waterfalls. Sarah was closing the restaurant when she heard a faint cry outside. She rushed to the door and saw Liam shivering in the cold, holding a small torn photograph. He looked at her with tears. "They're coming for us," he whispered. Sarah wrapped him in a blanket and held him tight. She promised, "I will never let anyone hurt you." As the storm raged outside, Sarah made a decision. She would fight the darkness threatening Liam's life, no matter the cost. Hook. Who are the shadowy figures chasing Liam? What secrets does the torn photograph hold? Can Sarah protect Liam in the coming storm? The storm had passed, but the danger had only grown stronger. Sarah knew she could no longer hide. She needed help. Early the next morning, Sarah met Mr. Collins in a quiet park. "We must act fast," he said. "I have friends who can protect Liam and find out who wants to hurt him." Sarah felt a mix of hope and fear. She wanted to believe in safety, but the unknown was scary. Together they planned to take Liam to a safe place, away from the restaurant and the shadowy men. Just as they were about to leave, the manager appeared. His face was hard and angry. "You're making a big mistake, Sarah," he warned. "You don't know who you're dealing with." Sarah stood her ground. "I will do whatever it takes to keep Liam safe." Suddenly, the manager called for backup. 2 rough men came out from the shadows. Sarah's heart pounded, but before the men could come closer, a group of strangers arrived. Friends of Mr. Collins, strong and serious. A tense moment passed. The strangers spoke quietly to the manager. After a long pause, the manager stepped back, defeated. Sarah, Liam, and Mr. Collins quickly left the park and reached a small safe house. Inside, Liam finally began to open up. He told Sarah about the dark secret that chased his family, a powerful man who wanted control over them. Sarah listened carefully, promising to help him fight for a better life. That night, as Liam slept peacefully for the first time in years, Sarah felt a deep hope. They were not alone anymore. The days that followed were full of hope and courage. Sarah, Liam, and Mr. Collins worked together with their new friends to protect Liam and uncover the truth about the powerful man threatening his family. They learned that the man was a rich and dangerous businessman who wanted to control Liam's family property. This man had used fear and lies to hurt many people before. One morning, Sarah and her friends made a plan to stop him. They gathered evidence and went to the police, sharing everything they knew. The police acted quickly. They arrested the dangerous man and his helpers. At last, Liam and his siblings were safe. With the threat gone, Sarah was finally free to live without fear. The restaurant owner apologized for his harsh behavior and offered her a better job, but Sarah chose a new path. She decided to start a small shelter for children like Liam, giving them food, care, and love. Liam smiled, knowing he had found not just a protector, but a real family. Sarah looked at the children around her and felt proud. From a poor waitress who gave a meal to a beggar boy, she had built a new life full of hope. The past was behind them now, and the future was bright.